What's up, MMA fans? Back again. Hashtag MMA cam number 14 in HD. 720, not 1080. But we are back again here to do UFC 166 preview for the main event. Cain Velasquez versus Junior Dos Santos, number 3 for the heavyweight championship. Um, so yeah, let's go ahead and dive into this. This is probably my favorite main event or favorite fight of the year. Been waiting to see this for a long time. Um, but let's get into the challenger, Junior Dos Santos, coming off of a win versus Mark Hunt, third round KO. Um, I noticed something in that fight that his cardio looked a little bit better than it had in the past. Maybe that was due to who he was fighting. Maybe it's something that he's been working on. My guess is probably Mark Hunt looking very well. Mark Hunt is not a cardio machine, so it's someone that he stood a chance of looking good against. I did think that his cardio looked a little bit better though. Also, his takedowns were I thought that he did a good job of controlling Mark Hunt on the ground. Um, but is that a sign for success against Cain Velasquez? I don't think so. Um, Junior has been working a lot on his wrestling, which leads me to believe that he is either going to fight the takedown more or um, be more strategic um, with handling Cain once Cain has closed the distance and is trying to get a takedown. Um, I think that in order for Junior to win this fight, he has to control the pace starting in round one. Um, he has to avoid getting up against the cage where Cain is very effective, um, loves to spam takedowns. He likes to chain fight. He likes to chain takedown attempts together against the cage, eventually getting you down. Most of the time, getting you down. If not, you expend energy. Junior Dos Santos knows a lot about that, especially judging after the second fight. Uh, Junior does not want this to happen again. So with that said, he needs to come out and establish the pace. It's a very hard thing to do. Much easier said than done. However, I think that he can do it. Um, another another way or a key to victory is to initiate his boxing first, to be the first one. Um, I think that in that strategy, being to engage in boxing first, he would need to get the knockout in the first round or the second, early in the fight. The later this fight goes is in the champion's favor. Um, I really don't see Junior coming out of this fight with the win if he cannot control the pace in the first round or establish his boxing um, enough to get a knockout. Um, but that being said, into the champion on paper, he's coming off of a win against Bigfoot Silva in UFC 160, the same event. First round knockout. He was able to show movement, um, throwing 1, 2, 3 punch combos, nothing more than 3 punch combos, moving, resetting, using his speed as a clear advantage in that fight, and was able to get the knockout within, I think it was like the first minute and a half, or I think it's definitely the first minute of the fight. Cain has since been awarded a black belt in jiu-jitsu. I believe it's guerrilla jiu-jitsu. Um, he's fine tuning a lot of things that could have been considered weaknesses before. We never really saw offensive or defensive submission game from him. He was always the aggressor. Um, Early in his career, I would argue that Cain's biggest flaw was closing the distance against Chet Congo in another fight where he went to the distance. Um, he was able, he was he Congo was able to catch Cain a couple of times, trying to engage, and Cain really looked inexperienced when confronted with the possibility of taking a takedown attempt or throwing the hands. And now he's flourishing. He's able to seamlessly transition between those two, and it really seems like he's got a feel for what type of fighter he's become. Um, he's able to dominate Junior in the last fight against him, which was back in December 2012. Um, in this fight, Cain needs to lean on his biggest attribute, and that's his cardio. He needs to set the pace. I know I said the same thing for Junior, but the same thing applies for Cain. He needs is not a joke. He needs to come out and he needs to put the pressure on Junior, because if he does not, he may be in for another 5 round fight with Junior where he could get knocked out late in the rounds. Now, I did say that I think that the advantage goes to the champion the later this fight goes. However, Junior was able to show great resolve in the last fight, and hats off to him showing that chin. If he's able to mount any type of significant offense like he was in the second fight, later on in this third fight, I believe he could. It's not beyond the stretch of imagination that he could get the knockout late in this fight. So Cain wants to, I think, in this fight, being in there with Junior for close to 6 rounds now. He needs to take that experience and really apply the pressure here. He needs to come out with urgency and really and dominate and take control of this fight from the beginning. Because if neither one of these gentlemen are able to do that in the first round, then they may be staring down a loss. Um, both guys, especially Junior, because as I said, he needs to come out there and establish the pace, because if you look at his other fights, like against Mir, he was able to stand on the outside and get away with low activity. In this fight, I don't think he will be. So he needs to come out and be firing quickly. As for a prediction, I love Junior Dos Santos, but I think I'm gonna go with Cain Velasquez here. Cain Velasquez just seems like a buzzsaw, especially at heavyweight, where a lot of guys aren't able to keep up with him, because he has phenomenal strength and wrestling technique. It's not so much as the threat of the takedown; it's how technical it is. Different ways of getting you down, and it happening over and over again can get discouraging. So I'm going with the champion in this fight. I think Cain gets the win here. Um, uh, Thinking about the rest of the card, I'm anxious to see Jessica Eye. I want to see Cormier fight Roy Nelson. I'm really sad that Luke Rockhold got pulled off the card, but that happens. Um, just especially excited to see him against Tim Boach, because I'm to see. Um, let me think. What else is on this card? Oh yes, Melendez versus Sanchez. I think could be for a very exciting fight. However long it lasts, because it could end early. Um, but both guys are very aggressive. And I think that Melendez has shown me signs that he could very well defeat the champion at 155 right now, and could very well be, in my mind, um, the best 155 are out there. Um, I do think outside of the UFC, um, Michael Chandler is very good. I believe he's very good, but I think that Gilbert Melendez has shown me um, proof that he could be very well the number one 155-pound fighter in MMA. Um, I I think that's it for the biggest fights that I wanted to discuss here. I think I'm gonna do a follow up to just go over other fights and certain details that I wanted to talk about 166 in a separate video, um, because this one was supposed to be dedicated solely to the main event and getting the challenger and the champion on paper and a prediction. So that being said, look for a video to come out soon. I should have hashtag MMA cam number 15 up before the weekend is through. So follow me on Twitter at hashtag MMA, also on WordPress, hashtag MMA.wordpress.com. And oh, look out for that. And also a few more discussion videos that I'm looking to start doing discussion series. So keep an eye out for that. Also, and like always, take care.